Okay, guys, right. This video is going to be all about the foundations of training for men who travel for work. Okay, so what you need to do, what you should prioritize, what you should worry about, what you shouldn't worry about, and what you don't need to worry about. Okay, what you don't need to even think about or consider or waste time and energy worrying about. Okay, no fluff, short and sweet. It's going to give you the details to get going and actually start sculpting the body, building the body that you want, whilst you shred the body fat and reveal this physique that you're proud of. Okay, so we're going to dive straight in. So the problem for a lot of men who travel with their job is that the training just feels completely inconsistent. Okay, and that's probably really frustrating, and you, you don't feel like you can do anything about it. Yeah, you have irregular access to a gym. You don't have any sort of routine. Some weeks you have, you're at home and you have full access and you really get into the swing of things. And some weeks the exact opposite. Okay, and it's here, there, and everywhere. The problem doesn't stem from whether you're motivated or not. It just feels like your lifestyle, your situation is not conducive with being able to train and see results and see the results that you want, more importantly. Okay. And you want to be able to train like somebody who doesn't travel like you do. Somebody's at home doing a 9 to 5, so with a nice, easy lifestyle routine. Because travel requires a different approach. Okay, that's what I'm going to touch on. That's what I help. I've helped hundreds of guys within my program deal with and still develop the physique that they want, despite a whole host of different travel situations. Okay, so why training looks different when we travel? The travel creates irregular schedules, right? It also elevates fatigue. Often we'll have limited equipment, and that could change drastically from one day to another. Yeah. And a lot of the time, and a lot of the guys I speak to, they're trying to follow a plan from a personal trainer or something they got online, which is set up for a commercial gym that has everything you need. And it leads to missed sessions. It leads to feeling guilty that you can't do it. It leads to there's no point in doing it attitude and just giving up altogether, right? And the goal shifts when we travel. The goal needs to shift from perfect training to consistent stimulus. All right. We don't need to try and be perfect. The more we try and be perfect, the more frustrating it's going to be when we're not perfect. Right. So something needs to be done consistently, because that is way better than trying to do the perfect plan that you cannot stick to. All right. So how to set up your training whilst you travel. All right. We just need to, and no fluff was at the front on the first slide in big for a reason. We need to keep it simple. A client of mine the other day told me that he waited half an hour in a gym, in the hotel gym, when he was away on a work trip for a machine. And often he tells me he doesn't quite have time to do the full session. And if we're in that situation, do anything that is similar, that is going to provide a similar stimulus. That's going to mean you can get in, get it done, and get out. Okay. Don't overthink it. Really don't overthink it. Okay. 3 sessions per week. That's the baseline that we want to aim for. Of course, maybe some weeks we might only be able to do 2. But the ideal that we start with our baseline is 3 sessions per week. Okay. And every session we want to do full body or almost full body, so that if for whatever reason one session has to be cut short, one session has to be scrapped altogether, or we have very limited access to something, then we've already hit those muscle groups that week. Okay, we're hitting things as often as we train. We're trying to hit everything, because then we're accounting for disruptions in our schedule. Okay, and we can literally aim for 30-minute sessions to start with. That's fine. 30 to 45 minutes. Again, getting there and setting the bar low to create a lower barrier to entry so we can actually turn up and start and do something. We can always get something done that's longer. We can always stay there if we all of a sudden have a bit more time. And it just makes it easier to turn up, right? When it seems less daunting that we have this big session to do, especially if we're tired and we're low on energy from travel and work. And any equipment counts, okay? So whether that is a full gym in a hotel, whether that is a tiny rubbish gym with just some dumbbells and a bench, whether that's you take some resistance bands. I encourage every client of mine to buy some resistance band. You give them 20 quid on Amazon. Yeah. And when you don't have access to a gym, just elevates what you can do from the body weight stuff to a whole nother level. And it literally goes in your bag, doesn't weigh anything. Super, super useful, super easy. All right. And what we want to focus on is movements that involve more than one muscle, ideally, because then we're getting more bang for our buck. We're working more things at once, so we have to do less movements in a session. Supersets, so we can put an exercise right next to another exercise with no rest in between, because that reduces the time we're in there training. We can get the session done quicker. And then if we still have that amount of time available, we can do more and make up for the fact that maybe we haven't done a full session. Making sure every set is quality. Maybe being short on time means that we can't do our full session, or in general, we're trying to progress. And so we maybe want to do a bit more. But regardless of whether we are wanting to do a bit more or we're content with what we're doing at the moment, every set has to be quality. Yeah. Those guys that go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week and they can be in the gym for an hour and a half, they can afford to potentially have a few sets that, are warm-ups. They're building up to their kind of big maximal sets. But we need to be on the money from the moment we start. Okay, getting every possible amount of progress from every set we do. So it needs to be quality. And remembering it doesn't have to be perfect. The training doesn't have to be perfect. The movements, the equipment we're using, the equipment we have access to, the time we have available, it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want quality stimulus, and we're not chasing soreness. We're not chasing getting tired. We're not chasing sweating. We are chasing working those muscles correctly and efficiently. Okay? And that's exactly what Kev did. Kev has completely transformed his body. He's lost 12 kg of fat, put on muscle. Look at him. And he's just been asked by the owner of the gym that he goes to back home if he wants to take part in an over 50s bodybuilding competition. This was him 6 months ago. Absolutely couldn't be further away from that. Yeah. And he spends days, if not weeks, on the road at a time. Okay. And he only had a light set of dumbbells when he was away, but we put a plan together so we could get the absolute most out of that, and he could continue his routine and see the results that he definitely wouldn't see if he just thought, I can't, I don't have access to a gym right now, so I just won't bother and I'll get back into it when I go. That's where you go, progress, lose it, progress, lose it. And we want to continue that routine, because then also when we come back, it's way easier. All right. And Kev just did similar movements, but with just lighter dumbbells. He adjusted some things and made sure that he was going more time under tension. So he was elongating the time in which he was doing the movements. He slowed down the tempo as a result. He was doing supersets. He was using pauses, like all these kind of different techniques to make the training harder with the lighter equipment he had access to. And he's look at the physique and progress he's made. Rob, again, did exactly the same. He flies all over Australia with work, working often in very remote locations. And he didn't have access to a gym. Some of these sites he was on had access to a gym, but it was very, very poor. Okay. So it was important, again, just like Kev, that he kept the same routine. He made a special effort to get to the gym the same number of days per week. Whether that went from a 60-minute session down to a 30-minute session and 15 sets in total to 12, That's absolutely fine. But he continued to provide his body with the right stimulus in a similar way to what he was doing, as similar as we could. And look at the progress he's made. He's built muscle and shaped his body, but also dropped the body fat and revealed the muscle he has. In 6 weeks, Rob did this. Yeah. And it's so key that we don't overthink it. Rob overthought it for years, had very varying access, and ended up just running when he was away and didn't quite have access to the gym he wanted or needed for what he was doing at home. And he's not making the most of his progress, potential progress. He's leaving gains on the table and consistently flip-flapping between different types of training doesn't build the body that you want. All right. Consistency does, showing up, but in a realistic way for us men who travel. And so what to do? Pick 3 movements per session. What we want to do is set a baseline, as I said earlier. Don't set unrealistic expectations that you can maybe hit 1 in every 3 weeks, okay? Set a baseline and we can always do more. Pick 3 movements per session, 3 to 4 sets of each. Moderate reps. People say you have to do 8 to 12 for hypertrophy, 5 to 8 for strength. It's a load of rubbish. As long as you are working that muscle towards close to and to failure, so getting to the point where you can't do another rep with good form, that is where you're going to be building muscle and strength. Okay? Anywhere between 5 and 30 reps. And we need to finish feeling like we've worked those muscles we've targeted. Okay? Not just destroyed and tired. We want to feel like we've worked those muscles. Instead of just going through the motions, going for a run instead, we want to continue to feel that muscle has had a workout. Okay? Full gym, dumbbells only, resistance band, body weight, whatever that looks like. Have an option for when you're in your normal situation. When you're at home, you maybe only do dumbbell work at home in the garage. That's fine. But have a body weight option. So have your ideal circumstance and then have backups. Okay? Have one specific backup, probably resistance band or body weight. Yeah? So you've got that there and you don't have to think on the spot. You don't have to make more decisions than you need to, because the more decisions we have to make in a moment, especially when we've traveled and we're tired, we're more than likely to make a poor decision. All right. We don't need to worry about fancy splits. We don't need to worry about trying to be perfect, doing the same movement every week. When we can, perfect. But if we can't, don't worry about it. And stimulus as best you can with what you've got. That is what we want to achieve. The best possible stimulus with what we've got. All right. And how to implement this in real life. Okay, so decide on your non-negotiable. Set that plan for you. Write it down on your phone if you need to, in a note. Have it written down somewhere. 3 sessions per week, wherever I am. That's what I'm committing to. Because look, we still have to have an element of discipline. We can't just turn up and it's going to happen. We have to turn up and do it. And it will be hard at first. But building those habits and setting the bar lower at the start is important. Have 2 versions, as I said, a gym version or a hotel gym, a home gym version or a dumbbell version, whatever you usually do, and then a body weight and band version as a backup, always. Train earlier in the day if we're traveling, if possible, or we're on travel days, we're away with work in a hotel, at a conference, whatever that looks like. The earlier we can train, the less likely something is going to come up and mean we cannot train. Okay. And if energy is low, if you work and travel with work that involves early mornings, late nights, night shifts, whatever that looks like, don't make it harder for yourself than it needs to be. Okay. When energy is low, just reduce the volume, but maintain that intensity and show up anyway. This is where the discipline comes up. And this is where having a really important why, a reason why you want to do this, a reason why you want to have this goal. You want to be that version of that healthier and strong and role model version to your kids, whatever that looks like. All right. But just don't skip it entirely. If we need to move the day, that's fine. But consciously do that and say, right, I'm going to do it on this day. But the big thing is that I found within my program with the clients that I work with is at the start of the week, we look ahead and we see what travel we've got on and we plan the days that we're going to work out at the start of the week. And we ideally do it in a way that it avoids travel disruptions. But if we need to, and we can identify, yeah, there's going to be a hotel gym there, I can do one of my sessions there. By having that in your head, we're not just thinking. And then we miss a session. We do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then we get to the end of the week and we've done one session and we need to get two in. And we need to be ahead of this. If you're always reacting, you're never going to stay on top of your training and build consistency. Okay. So don't miss sessions. We just need to adjust them. All right. And final thoughts. You don't need to train like a bodybuilder. Yeah. We're not trying to be professional bodybuilders. You're just trying to build a physique that's going to give you the best possible quality of life. It's going to look good as well. So you feel good in your skin and feel better and you're healthier. Okay. You need a system that works for you with your lifestyle, not against it. Stop trying to plug in a cookie cutter plan that works for somebody who's at home 9 to 5, because it's not going to work. And the more it doesn't work, the more demoralized you get, the more demotivated you get, and the more likely you are to give up and not try. Okay. And just don't overthink it. Do something to build the habits and the consistency. All right. And what I would like to end on is you don't need to train. Oh, that's weird. What I've got for you for watching this video, for sticking around to the end, you obviously have some goals. Okay. You have some goals. Training whilst you travel has been a struggle. So if you DM me the word training on Instagram, Jacob Conant Coach, at Jacob Conant Coach, I will send you over the link to access my free travel proof training guide. Okay. It's the ultimate travel proof training guide that provides you with sessions, whether you've got 60 minutes, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes available. Okay. Whether you've got full gym, dumbbells, resistance bands, or body weight. You flick to the page, you go, right, I'm in this situation. I've got this amount of time. I still need to get a session in. You look it up. It tells you exactly what to do, what movements, what sets, and some tips. All right. Nice and easy. You don't have to think about it. You can get in, get out, make the most of that time and equipment you have. If you want that, DM me the word training on Instagram and I will catch you in the next one.